So far this year, at least 25 airlines have folded, mainly due to soaring fuel costs. Well, for an expert view on the sector, I'm joined now by John Bowell, who's a global travel industry consultant. He's CEO of JC Bowell Associates. Is it as simple as oil prices?
No, there's much more to it than that. I think there's a number of factors at play here. The industry's been in trouble for some time now, and I think not only with fragmentation and poor archaic practices, we've seen a number of crises in recent years: oil prices, SARS, terrorism. Oil is back again, and undoubtedly oil prices are contributing, but I think there's a number of other factors at play here.
I think in the big picture isn't it, that the airline industry is always a bit dicey, that actually the airline industry collectively, you know, famously a few years ago, they were found to have lost money in virtually every year the war, since the war, apart from about 4. They're always in bad shape. We're just reminded of how bad shape they're in when things get difficult and they start to fold.
For 6 years, the industry hasn't made any profit, and I think this year IATA, the Industry Trade Association, is predicting losses of over £3 billion across the industry. I think something like 25, 30 airlines have already folded. Our prediction is that there'll be at least as many folding again before the end of this year.
But 25 between now and the end of the year?
That's correct.
In Europe, or is that
global? Across the world. And it could probably be more than that as we head into the winter season and demand starts to fall off. I think that number could increase, particularly with oil prices staying around $100 a barrel.
So what's the future? A number of the smaller airlines want to get together with the bigger ones who have a much better cost base, better access to capital, because credit crunch is important, isn't it, in all of this? But is that the way forward?
I don't think that is the answer. Certainly scale will help, but frankly there's a number of fundamental problems that need to be addressed within the industry. We've worked with probably 20 airlines over the last 3 or 4 years, so we're right at the heart of many of these organisations. We see the issues that they're dealing with, and frankly they're not dealing with the real cost base. Something like 80% of their total costs is with external suppliers who just don't seem to have the same motivation and the same drive for survival that the airlines have. Airlines have not been making any money for years, and more they're drifting into the red. But we don't see that happening with the supply industry. Recently we've been working with one airline in Europe where they'd renegotiated an engine contract and saved $16 million. We got involved with that client and saved a further $7 million on top of that. So there's money being left on the table, and this accounts for a big percentage of their costs.
John, thank you very much indeed. John Bowell there.